Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and Restless official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. While Claire slept in a patient room at Genoa City Memorial Hospital's psychiatric ward, Victoria maintained a vigil through a narrow window in the closed door. Worried, Victoria asked a therapist about Claire's habit of sleeping for long periods of time. The therapist explained that medical staff usually talked more than their patients at the beginning of treatment. Victoria cried that Claire appeared to be shutting down and shutting people out. The therapist did not appear to be concerned. Longing to be closer to her daughter, Victoria asked the therapist to let her inside Claire's room. Victoria sat by Claire's bed as Claire slept. Victoria said, "I know you're probably scared and confused. You probably don't know who to believe, especially after everything that your Aunt Jordan did to you and my mother, your grandmother. I just want you to know that you're not alone." Victoria noted that a number of family members and friends yearned to embrace Claire into the fold whenever she was ready. Victoria promised Claire she was safe with her family. Victoria pulled 2 books with worn covers from her bag, explaining that she could not wait to find out what Claire liked to do in her spare time. Victoria admitted she did not know what might come next, though she was grateful to have Claire in her life. Victoria set the books on the bed. Claire awoke and seemed somewhat surprised to see Victoria. Victoria, tears welling in her eyes, said, "Happy New Year, Claire." At Daniel's apartment, Lucy, clad in her pajamas and robe, emerged from her bedroom and asked about her mom. Daniel replied, "She left after midnight." Lucy replied that she had assumed her mom might have spent the night. In a flashback, Daniel remembered Heather having kissed him on the lips. Responding to Lucy's statement, Daniel said, "Why would you say that?" Lucy recalled that it had been late and that her parents had passed out asleep on the couch. Daniel asked Lucy why she had not awakened them. Lucy displayed a photo she had taken with her phone of Heather asleep with her head resting on Daniel's shoulder. Lucy admitted she had hoped that the 3 of them could have enjoyed breakfast together like they had during the old times. After Lucy retreated to her bedroom, Daniel remembered pulling away from Heather when she'd kissed him, telling her that he had not intended for them to kiss. Heather had said, "I didn't either. I don't know what happened, but you felt it, too, didn't you?" Daniel had told Heather he was with Lily, and he'd made it clear that misunderstandings and miscommunications were not good for them or for Lucy. Heather played innocent and claimed that her romantic overtures had felt natural like they had before. Daniel replied, "You're talking about before I turned toxic and before I ruined everything?" Heather noted that Daniel was his old self again. Daniel insisted he was not, explaining that he had gone down a black hole. Daniel was adamant that after growth and change, there was no going back because he was no longer the same person. Daniel made it clear that he was with Lily. Heather replied, "Which is why I hope she never hears about this ridiculous blunder of mine." Lucy entered and noticed that her dad's thoughts were a million miles away. Daniel claimed he had been thinking about his next project. Lucy unwrapped a breakfast bar, but Daniel grabbed the bar and threw it away. Daniel insisted that they have a proper breakfast of pancakes with bananas at the table while enjoying conversation. Danny arrived and was delighted to be invited to enjoy a Romalotti-style breakfast. Across town, Heather was about to order breakfast at the athletic club when Lucy secretly invited her to join Lucy and Daniel for pancakes. Heather replied via text message, asking Lucy if her dad was aware of the invitation. Lucy replied, "Whose idea do you think it was?" Heather smiled. At Crimson Lights, Phyllis wished Christine a Happy New Year. Phyllis mentioned having run into Christine before she had spent the evening with Danny. Christine noted that she and Danny were 2 people who enjoyed and respected each other, adding that mature relationships evidently did not appeal to Phyllis, given her decision to plan a sudden dinner date with the rather unsavory Tucker McCall. Christine bragged that she and Danny had enjoyed an evening to remember, adding that not even Phyllis could have ruined the evening, no matter how hard she might have tried. Phyllis said she was sorry Christine considered her to be a threat. Christine laughed and let Phyllis know she was aware of Phyllis's contrived date with Tucker, teasing that he and Phyllis had likely whiled away hours, comparing scandals. Phyllis acknowledged that though Tucker was dangerous, he knew how to have a good time. Christine replied that she was aware that Phyllis had made a move on Danny, which, Christine insisted, had more to do with her ridiculous rivalry than it did with any real feelings. Christine noted that Phyllis's flaw was her inability to take charge of her new freedom and success and to instead chase someone who did not want her. Summer entered just as Christine insisted that Phyllis leave her and Danny alone. Christine told Phyllis that Danny considered her a mistake he should rid himself of. Summer stood between Christine and Phyllis and said, "Seriously? Is this the way you two want to start fresh?" After Christine left, Summer asked if her mom had been chasing Danny. Phyllis admitted she had kissed Danny on New Year's Eve. Phyllis insisted that Danny and Christine were not in a committed relationship. Phyllis added that she was a better choice for Danny, so he should choose her because Christine was still married. Summer asked her mom how Danny might react when Phyllis did something unethical or fought with Christine. Phyllis insisted that Danny was a good influence in her life. Summer recalled that her mother had not even thought about Danny for as long as Summer had been alive, adding that Phyllis was only interested in Danny so she could stick it to Christine. Phyllis replied, "Maybe I just want to be in love, Summer." Becoming emotional, Phyllis claimed that after having been hurt, she had built a defensive wall of protection, though having thoughts about a romance with Danny had allowed her to see herself differently. Phyllis spoke of fluttering hearts and listening with interest to a love interest's silly but engaging stories. Summer paused and noted that it would be a different situation if Phyllis were actually describing her true feelings for Danny. Phyllis said, "Well, maybe I was talking about you and Chance." Summer replied, "Are you serious right now? Why would you try to turn this around on me? This is about the lines that you are crossing, not me." Phyllis insisted to Summer that she had not attempted to deflect and instead claimed that one could not deny a relationship set in motion by the universe. Phyllis noted that no one ever earned brownie points for not going after what was desired, adding that Summer had once been so brave. Summer explained that she was an adult in control of her actions, adding that the old Summer had been a brat. Phyllis insisted that the old Summer had been filled with life and would have never, ever let Chance walk away without telling him how she felt. Summer sighed in frustration after Phyllis kissed her on the forehead and said she hoped that the new year would be a really good one for Summer. Nearby on the patio, Sharon overheard the exchange between Phyllis and Summer and shook her head. After Phyllis left, Sharon entered the main dining room from the patio and said, "I guess I could just smile and pretend I didn't overhear you and your mother." Summer, almost breathless with embarrassment, replied, "Talking about Chance." Sharon, "Oh, my God. I'm so sorry." Summer admitted she was horrified, adding that her mom's comments had been inappropriate, though her mom did not get it. Sharon admitted that she had noticed how Summer enjoyed being around Chance. Summer assured Sharon she would never do anything to compromise Sharon's relationship with Chance. Sharon replied, "It's very mature of you, Summer.